Have you ever felt a creeping, unsettling sense that life's misfortunes weren't just random chances, like an invisible hand was subtly nudging things, a little too often, a little too perfectly in the wrong direction? We who strive for wisdom are taught to discern between what lies within our control and what does not. But what if some outside forces are more insidious, more deliberate than simple, indifferent fate? What if that string of inexplicable bad luck, those sudden, perplexing negative shifts in your dearest relationships, or even those unusual, persistent physical sensations aren't merely part of life's rough and tumble, but rather whispers of something far more intentional? It's a question that many dismiss with a wave of the hand, attributing all to coincidence or stress. Yet, deep down, a persistent unease can gnaw at the edges of our perception. Perhaps your once vibrant energy suddenly feels drained, leaving you weary despite ample rest. Or perhaps relationships that once brought you joy now feel strained, fraught with inexplicable misunderstandings. Maybe opportunities you worked so hard for inexplicably slip through your grasp, one after another, creating a pattern of frustration that defies logic. These aren't the gentle nudges of everyday challenge. They are persistent, almost aggressive, disturbances that suggest a deeper, more unsettling origin. The modern world, with all its advancements, often blinds us to ancient truths that speak of energies, intentions, and influences that transcend the purely physical. For those who seek wisdom, for those who cultivate inner strength, it becomes imperative to not only understand the visible challenges, but also to recognize the unseen currents that can subtly undermine our journey toward a tranquil and purposeful life. This isn't about fear or superstition. It is about awareness, about shining a light into the shadows so that we may stand more firmly in our own truth. For countless generations across every known culture and throughout recorded history, humanity has grappled with the concept of unseen influences, of intentions woven into the very fabric of our shared reality. We call it by many names, from folk magic to curses, from malevolent spirits to dark intentions. And while the theatrical images of cloaked figures, bubbling cauldrons, or broomstick flights might seem a quaint relic of the past, belonging only to fairy tales, the underlying human desire to influence, to harm, or to hinder another's path persists. Indeed, in our modern world, these negative intentions often hide in plain sight, cloaked in subtlety, making them all the more insidious and difficult to discern. Today, we are not speaking of theatrical spells, nor are we diving into the sensationalized narratives often found in fiction. Instead, we're addressing something far more practical, far more relevant to your daily well-being. The subtle, energetic currents that can quietly, relentlessly undermine your peace of mind, disrupt the harmony of your most cherished relationships, and even derail your most deeply held aspirations and successes. In this powerful discussion, I will illuminate 8 often missed, unmistakable signs that these subtle yet potent energetic currents might indeed be directed at you. These are indicators that many people overlook until their lives are already profoundly impacted. My purpose here is not to incite fear, but to cultivate a profound sense of awareness, the essential foundational step toward regaining your tranquility, fortifying your spirit, and protecting your sacred inner citadel. This knowledge is a vital tool, a philosophical lens through which to examine experiences that might otherwise remain perplexing and disempowering. It will empower you to recognize these attacks early, to understand their nature, and, crucially, to protect yourself effectively, long before their impact becomes overwhelming. We believe that a strong mind and a peaceful heart are the greatest treasures, and understanding all forces, seen and unseen, contributes to that strength. If you find value in seeking deeper insights into cultivating a mind that is strong, a heart that is at peace, and a life rich in happiness, then I urge you to take a moment right now. Subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy channel. Here, we consistently share wisdom and practical tools designed to empower your mind, bring peace to your spirit, and foster true happiness in your life. Join our community and continue your journey toward mastering your inner world, regardless of the external influences. The challenge, my dear friends, lies in the subtle art of discernment, distinguishing between the natural vicissitudes of life, the inevitable bumps and bruises that accompany our journey, and something far more insidious, something deliberately designed to disrupt our tranquility. We who walk the path of Stoicism are well versed in the profound wisdom of accepting what we cannot control, of finding serenity amidst the chaos that is simply part of the human condition. We understand that setbacks are not merely possible, but guaranteed. A sudden illness, an unexpected financial strain, a disagreement with a loved one. These are often the unscripted scenes in the grand play of existence, to be met with equanimity and an unwavering inner resolve. But what if these challenges, these seemingly random misfortunes, begin to coalesce into a pattern that defies logic, a relentless onslaught that seems to target your most vulnerable points with uncanny precision? What if the same unwelcome patterns emerge repeatedly, not as isolated incidents, but as a systematic erosion of your well-being, hitting the same sensitive areas of your life over and over again, almost as if orchestrated by an unseen hand? This is where our Stoic wisdom calls upon us not for passive acceptance, but for deeper attention, for a keen and compassionate observation. Ignoring these persistent anomalies isn't resilience. It's a form of self-negligence, a turning away from signals that our very spirit might be sending. It's like a ship's captain dismissing the persistent creaking of the hull or the unexplained flickering of the lights, attributing it all to the natural sway of the sea, when in truth, a more profound issue is at play beneath the surface. The cost of such dismissal, my friends, is immeasurable. It begins with the slow, insidious erosion of your inner peace, that precious, inviolable citadel of the mind that the Stoics so diligently sought to protect. When inexplicable misfortunes become the norm, when every step forward is met with an unseen counterforce, anxiety can begin to creep in, casting a long shadow over your days. The joy in simple pleasures diminishes, replaced by a constant state of vigilance, a low hum of unease that never quite dissipates. Your relationships, once sources of comfort and strength, might begin to fray, plagued by misunderstandings that seem to materialize out of thin air, or by a sudden, inexplicable coldness from those you hold dear. It's as if a subtle discord has been introduced into the symphony of your connections, turning harmony into dissonance. And then there is the insidious impact on your life's purpose, your cherished aspirations. Perhaps you've diligently worked towards a significant goal, pouring your heart and soul into its pursuit, only to find every avenue blocked by an invisible, relentless barrier. Opportunities vanish just as they appear. Progress stalls without logical explanation, and the path ahead, once clear, becomes shrouded in an impenetrable fog. This isn't the noble struggle against external circumstances that builds character. This is a systematic undermining, a subtle sabotage that can leave you feeling drained, defeated, and profoundly confused. The dark reality, often whispered in hushed tones across generations, is that directed negative intention, what some might call witchcraft in its modern, subtle form, continues to exist in our contemporary world. It doesn't announce itself with dramatic flair or obvious signs. Rather, it often hides behind different names and practices, cloaked in the mundane, making it all the more challenging to identify. This hidden reality, this subtle assault, can erode your well-being if left unchecked. It chips away at your spirit, one small, inexplicable setback at a time, until you might find yourself adrift, questioning your own perceptions, your own sanity, and even your own worth. The challenge is not to fall into paranoia, but to cultivate a discerning eye, a sensitive heart, and a mind attuned to the subtle disharmonies that signal something more than mere chance. It is about recognizing that while we cannot control every external event, we can choose to be aware, to be vigilant, and to protect our inner sanctuary from influences that seek to disturb its peace. This is the profound problem we face, and it is precisely why this discussion is so vital for those who seek a life of strength, serenity, and true self-mastery. In the journey to find inner peace and strength, a Stoic always learns to observe the world with keen eyes, distinguishing between what is the nature of life and what might be an interference. Today, hidden challenges no longer announce themselves with thunderclaps or ghostly images from fairy tales. Instead, they often masquerade as ordinary occurrences until their persistent, perplexing nature reveals their true origin. We will together explore 8 distinct signs, each a thread in the tapestry of potential influences designed to help you recognize and respond with wisdom. This is not a time to be consumed by fear, but rather to equip yourself with knowledge. Think of these signs as spiritual compasses helping you navigate through murky waters where pure reason alone might not suffice. Each sign is a reminder that the world is not just what we see, but also includes invisible energy flows, intentions woven into the space around us. Recognizing them is not a weakness, but a testament to the sensitivity of your soul, your ability to perceive things beyond the reach of the 5 ordinary senses. Listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart and your intellect. For in this awareness, you will find the path to liberation and true strength. Sign 1. Unexplainable negative patterns. Life, in its grand tapestry, is woven with threads of joy and sorrow, success and setback. We all encounter bad days, perhaps a spilled coffee, a missed appointment, or a minor disagreement. These are the inevitable snags in the fabric, to be met with a shrug and a renewed sense of purpose. But what if these isolated snags begin to form a recurring, intricate knot that seems to tighten around your life, week after week, month after month, without any logical explanation? This is where the discerning eye of a Stoic is called upon, not for passive acceptance, but for active, compassionate observation. Imagine your career, once a steady ascent, suddenly hitting an invisible wall. Promotions you were certain of inexplicably fall through. Projects you poured your heart into are suddenly stalled or sabotaged by unforeseen circumstances. It's not just one missed opportunity, it's a series of them, each one feeling like a deliberate block rather than a random turn of events. Or consider your health. Perhaps you've always been robust, rarely ailing, but now you find yourself plagued by a succession of minor yet debilitating illnesses that defy diagnosis, leaving you constantly drained and unable to fully engage with life. It's as if your body's natural resilience has been subtly compromised. The hallmark here is the sudden onset of multiple simultaneous problems in areas that were previously stable and thriving. It's like your life was a meticulously crafted symphony, and overnight a discordant note was introduced, then another and another, until the entire melody feels off-key, unsettling, and profoundly out of harmony. This isn't just bad luck, it's a persistent, almost aggressive pattern that suggests a deeper, more unsettling origin. These patterns often manifest in ways that are eerily specific, almost as if designed to hit your most vulnerable points. Perhaps every time you're about to finalize a significant financial deal, an unexpected, bizarre technical glitch occurs, or a crucial document mysteriously vanishes. Or maybe every time you plan a special, intimate moment with a loved one, an unforeseen external crisis erupts, pulling you away and leaving a trail of disappointment. These are not random occurrences, they are patterns like a recurring, unsettling dream that leaves you with a lingering sense of dread upon waking. The key distinction from regular life challenges lies in their lack of logical cause and effect. A car breaks down because of a mechanical fault. A cold develops from exposure to a virus. But with these patterns, the timing is too perfect, the coincidences too frequent, and the explanations too flimsy to be dismissed as mere chance. It's as if an unseen hand is consistently pouring sugar into your gas tank, slashing your tires and stealing your steering wheel, all at the same time, leaving you stranded and bewildered. So, what can a wise individual do? Begin a journal, not just for introspection, but for meticulous observation. Write down when these strange patterns occur, what was happening in your life immediately before, who was involved, and what you were about to achieve. Document the feelings, the specific events, and the inexplicable nature of their occurrence. As you track them, patterns will emerge with startling clarity. You might discover that these random bad events consistently happen after interacting with a specific person or when you're on the cusp of reaching a certain significant goal. This documentation isn't about fueling paranoia. It's about cultivating awareness, about gathering empirical evidence from your own life's unfolding. Remember, this is just the first of 8 signs. By itself, it might not be conclusive, but combined with the other signs we are about to discuss, you will gain a much clearer, more profound picture. And knowing, my friend, is not just half the battle. It is the very foundation of reclaiming your peace and your power. Just as a seasoned sailor learns to read the subtle shifts in the wind and waves, so too must we learn to read the subtle currents that influence our lives. Sign 2. Unusual physical and emotional symptoms. Without medical cause. Our bodies are magnificent instruments, finely tuned to the rhythms of life, and our emotions are the vibrant currents that flow through our inner landscape. They are designed to signal when something is amiss, to guide us towards health and balance. But what if these very instruments begin to sound discordant notes, sending alarms that doctors cannot explain and remedies fail to quiet? This is the second profound sign that something more than mere physical or psychological stress might be at play. I recall a conversation with a brilliant artist, a woman named Clara, whose canvases once vibrated with vivid colors and boundless creativity. She was known for her boundless energy, her infectious optimism, and a mind that seemed to effortlessly conjure beauty. Then something shifted. Clara began experiencing a crushing fatigue that would descend upon her by early afternoon, rendering her incapable of holding a brush, let alone creating. Her doctors, baffled, ran every conceivable test: blood work, thyroid panels, sleep studies, neurological scans. Every single result came back normal, yet she could barely drag herself out of bed most mornings, and her vibrant palette turned to muted grays. What struck me most was how she described it. "It doesn't feel like normal tiredness," she confided, her voice a whisper. "It feels like something is literally draining my energy, like a battery being deliberately depleted, or a vibrant spring being siphoned dry." Her words still echo in my mind, for they are chillingly common among those who experience this second sign. It's as if an unseen siphon has been attached to your very life force. Beyond the physical, Clara also began experiencing emotional changes that bewildered her friends and family. Random bouts of profound melancholy would hit her like rogue waves, crashing over her without warning, leaving her weeping without cause, only to recede as mysteriously as they appeared. An acute, suffocating anxiety would grip her throat when she entered her studio, a space that was once her sanctuary, or when she was around certain individuals she previously held dear. And most disturbing of all were the nightmares, vivid, recurring dreams where she felt paralyzed, unable to move, as shadowy, indistinct figures moved menacingly around her bed, their presence chilling her to the bone. These weren't the fleeting anxieties of a busy mind. They were persistent, intrusive, and deeply unsettling. What truly separates these symptoms from regular health issues is their stubborn resistance to conventional treatment. Antidepressants don't touch the inexplicable depression. Sleep aids offer no respite from the haunting nightmares. Energy drinks and copious amounts of coffee make no dent in the profound, bone-deep fatigue. It's as if the symptoms aren't originating from within your body's own chemistry, but are instead being imposed from an external source, a subtle yet relentless energetic pressure. Throughout history, these unexplainable symptoms have been meticulously documented in cases of suspected spiritual interference. In ancient texts and even in the records of 17th century European witch trials, similar patterns of inexplicable wasting, emotional turmoil, and vivid, tormenting dreams are described. Today, we often dismiss these same symptoms as just stress or probably nothing, but your body, in its innate wisdom, knows better. It is sending you urgent signals, telling you that something is profoundly wrong, something that lies beyond the conventional medical paradigm. These attacks typically target your most vulnerable, most vital areas, aiming to disrupt the very essence of who you are. If you are an artist, your creativity suddenly vanishes, leaving you staring at a blank canvas with an empty mind. If you are an athlete, mysterious, recurring injuries appear, sidelining you without clear cause, frustrating your drive and passion. If you are a social, outgoing person, a crippling, unshakable social anxiety suddenly develops, making even simple interactions feel like an insurmountable task. The negative intention zeroes in on what makes you uniquely you, on your strengths and passions, and attempts to disrupt, diminish, or even extinguish them. If you are experiencing these symptoms, begin documenting them immediately. Track when they occur, their intensity, who you were with, and where you were. Look for patterns. Do they worsen after seeing certain people? Do they improve when you're in specific protected spaces or when you are far from a particular environment? This meticulous documentation can reveal connections you might otherwise miss, providing clarity amidst the confusion. What made Clara finally understand what was happening to her? Her symptoms would completely disappear when she visited her beloved grandmother in a remote, peaceful countryside, only to return with a vengeance within hours of coming home to her city apartment. And they would intensify dramatically after meetings with a particularly envious colleague whose success she had recently surpassed. When she finally connected these seemingly disparate dots, she was able to take decisive steps to protect herself and reclaim her vibrant spirit. These unexplained physical and emotional symptoms are the second major sign that a directed negative intention might be influencing you. Combined with the first sign of unexplainable negative patterns, they paint a clearer, more compelling picture of an intentional, energetic, or spiritual attack, rather than mere random misfortune. Stay with me as we explore the third sign, which might be hiding in plain sight, perhaps even in your own home. Sign 3. Discovering strange objects or unusual arrangements. This sign, my friends, is perhaps the most tangible, the most unsettling because it provides physical evidence, a literal smoking gun in the often invisible realm of spiritual warfare. We're not talking about discovering your teenager's forgotten socks under the sofa or your spouse's eccentric collection of antique thimbles. What we are discussing are objects that are deliberately placed, subtly concealed, to serve as anchors or conductors for negative energy, acting as conduits for malevolent intentions directed specifically at you. In the nuanced landscape of modern negative practices, practitioners often employ common, everyday items that are unlikely to raise immediate suspicion. Think of a small, seemingly innocuous bundle of dried herbs tied with a single red string tucked away in a drawer, or a tiny glass jar filled with pins, rusty nails, or even personal items like a strand of your hair or a clipping of your fingernail hidden beneath a floorboard. Perhaps it's a small pouch of dark powder discreetly tucked into the corner of a room, or slipped beneath a piece of furniture you frequently use. Even perfectly ordinary objects can become significant if they are found arranged in an unusual symbolic pattern, like coins placed in a specific constellation on your doorstep, or stones forming an odd circle in your garden. Most chillingly, it could be something as familiar as your family photos, suddenly found turned upside down, or facing the wall as if to symbolically sever connections. These objects are typically hidden in places you frequently occupy or pass through, areas imbued with your personal energy. Doorways and thresholds are particularly significant. The front door of your home, your bedroom door, or even the entrance to your office or personal workspace. Other common yet unsettling locations include under your bed, inside your mattress, tucked into houseplants, above door frames, in the forgotten corners of your basement or attic, or even subtly placed within your car. Personal items are especially potent targets, as they carry a strong energetic imprint of you. Check your clothing, particularly items you wear regularly, like a favorite jacket or a pair of shoes. Look through your jewelry box, especially for pieces that suddenly make you feel uncomfortable, heavy, or that you've inexplicably stopped wanting to wear, almost as if their energy has shifted. Even your toothbrush, hairbrush, or a personal keepsake might be tampered with. Anything that connects directly to your body or energy field can become a target. Now, here is where I need your absolute undivided attention. If you do find something suspicious, something that triggers that deep intuitive alarm, do not handle it with bare hands. Seriously, do not touch these things directly. Use gloves, tongs, or a piece of paper to remove them, and under no circumstances should you bring them close to your face or body. These objects can be charged with a dense, negative energy that can transfer to you through direct physical contact, creating an energetic attachment that can be difficult to dislodge. The connection between physical objects and energetic attachments is a profound ancient truth understood across countless traditions. Think of these items as physical anchors that hold spiritual intentions in place, much like your cell phone captures invisible signals from cell towers. These objects capture and amplify the negative intentions sent your way, broadcasting them into your personal space. What's truly shocking is how innocent-looking these items can be, often disguised as gifts or harmless trinkets. A small, peculiar ornament that showed up on your desk with no explanation from a new colleague. A seemingly thoughtful gift from someone you barely know that gives you an immediate, inexplicable, uneasy feeling. Even something as simple as a penny placed heads or tails up in a very specific, unusual location can be significant depending on the context. And listen, if you've made it this far into this video, you are clearly serious about protecting yourself and recognizing these signs, and that commitment deserves immense respect. If you're finding profound value in this information, do yourself a profound favor and smash that subscribe button right now. Why? Because here at the Stoic Philosophy, we regularly share this kind of vital protective knowledge, insights into inner strength, and pathways to peace that you simply won't find in mainstream sources. Plus, the algorithm will love you for it, and so will I. Remember, identifying this third sign, strange objects or unusual arrangements, is crucial because it provides tangible, undeniable evidence that someone is intentionally targeting you. Combined with the first two signs we've discussed, you are now equipped with even more knowledge to protect yourself. And knowledge, my friend, is indeed the most powerful protection of all. Sign 4. Dramatic and unexplainable changes in your social circle and relationships. This sign, my friends, cuts deep, for it strikes at the very heart of what makes us profoundly human, our connections to others. Our relationships are the vibrant threads that weave the rich tapestry of our lives, offering support, joy, and a sense of belonging. When negative intentions target your relationships, it doesn't just damage one connection, it often creates a devastating domino effect that can leave you feeling profoundly isolated, bewildered, and questioning your very reality. These are not the normal gradual shifts in relationships that develop over time due to differing paths or evolving personalities. No, these are sudden, intense, and often inexplicable changes that seem to come out of nowhere, like a sudden, chilling frost descending upon a flourishing garden. Think about that friend you've had for years, perhaps since childhood, the one who knew all your secrets, who always had your back, whose presence felt like home. Imagine them suddenly becoming cold, distant, canceling plans repeatedly with flimsy excuses, or even worse, spreading subtle rumors or speaking ill of you behind your back, their words like poisoned darts. When you, with a heavy heart, try to talk to them about it, to understand what has shifted, they can't explain why they feel differently about you. They just do. Something has profoundly shifted, and neither of you can pinpoint exactly what or why. This type of unexplainable hostility from previously warm, friendly, and supportive people is a classic chilling sign of external interference. It's as if someone has meticulously planted seeds of doubt, suspicion, or even outright animosity about you in their minds, subtly twisting their perceptions. Your previously warm, comforting relationships suddenly freeze over, becoming brittle and cold. People who used to greet you with genuine smiles now avoid eye contact, or find flimsy reasons to keep their distance, their body language radiating discomfort. Even more telling is when miscommunications and misunderstandings multiply without any rational reason. Messages never seem to arrive, emails get lost in the digital ether, your carefully chosen words get twisted and repeated back to you in distorted, unrecognizable forms. You leave a perfectly normal voicemail, expressing warmth or a simple request, but the person who receives it somehow hears something completely different, something accusatory or dismissive. It's as if an invisible static has been introduced into all your communications, scrambling your messages, creating confusion, and fostering resentment where none existed before. This insidious pattern of interference typically leads to a profound sense of isolation. One by one, your support network seems to crumble. Invitations stop coming, group chats go silent, and when you enter a room, conversations seem to halt. Eventually, you might find yourself profoundly alone, cut off from the very people who could help you recognize what's happening, who could offer comfort and clarity. And that, my friends, is precisely the insidious point. Isolation makes you vulnerable, easier to control, easier to manipulate, and strips you of your communal strength. The manipulation of relationships through subtle, unseen means has been documented across cultures and throughout history, often considered one of the most dangerous forms of negative influence, precisely because it destroys the community bonds that keep us safe, supported, and grounded. Some of the common tactics used to create this division include planting subtle seeds of doubt about your character, stirring up jealousy or competition where there was none, reviving old, long-resolved conflicts, or even creating entirely fabricated scenarios that never actually happened, but that people somehow vividly remember experiencing with you. The emotions this creates are devastating. You might feel a deep sense of betrayal, profound confusion, or even begin to question your own memory and perception of events. Did my friend really say that hurtful thing about me? Why would they? Did I actually do something wrong that I can't remember? This kind of self-doubt is psychologically damaging spiritually draining, and can leave you feeling adrift in a sea of uncertainty. To strengthen your relationships against these negative influences and to protect your inner peace, maintain open and honest communication as much as possible. Document strange interactions, noting the specifics and your feelings. Trust your instincts about sudden, uncharacteristic changes in people's behavior toward you. When possible, prioritize in-person meetings rather than relying solely on electronic communication, as face-to-face interactions are harder for external influences to interfere with. Most importantly, remember that people under this kind of influence aren't acting from their true, authentic selves. The anger, suspicion, or dislike they're expressing toward you isn't coming from their heart. It's been subtly planted there. When you recognize this profound distinction, it becomes easier to respond with compassion, with a stoic understanding of their temporary delusion, rather than with reactive hurt, which only deepens the divide. This fourth sign, dramatic changes in your social circle and relationships, is particularly painful because it attacks our fundamental human need for connection. Combined with the previous three signs, it forms a powerful indicator that something unnatural is influencing your life. As we move to our fifth sign, remember that awareness is not just the first step. It is the most powerful weapon in your arsenal of protection. Sign 5. Consistent bad luck or repeated obstacles. Life, as the Stoics teach us, is a continuous flow of events, some favorable, some challenging. We all experience moments of bad luck, a flat tire on the way to an important meeting, a forgotten umbrella on a rainy day, or a minor mishap that causes a slight inconvenience. These are the random, often humorous quirks of existence. But what if these seemingly random misfortunes cease to be isolated incidents and instead coalesce into a relentless, almost systematic pattern of obstruction? What if every single step forward you attempt to take is met with an invisible yet undeniably present barrier? This is the fifth profound sign that something more than mere chance is at play, suggesting a consistent, deliberate attempt to thwart your progress and drain your spirit. Imagine for a moment that you are diligently working towards a significant breakthrough in your career. You've prepared meticulously, the path seems clear, and success feels within reach. But then the phone line inexplicably goes dead just as you're about to close a crucial deal. Or your computer crashes, wiping out hours of work, precisely when a critical deadline looms. Perhaps you're constantly missing flights or trains due to bizarre, unforeseen delays that affect only you. Or important documents repeatedly go missing just before you need them most. It's not just one obstacle. It's a relentless succession of minor, yet impactful roadblocks that appear precisely when you are on the verge of achieving something significant. It's as if an unseen hand is consistently placing barriers directly in your path, ensuring that progress remains just out of reach, leaving you feeling perpetually frustrated, exhausted, and bewildered. This isn't simple misfortune. It's a systematic, almost intelligent obstruction designed to wear down your resilience and prevent your forward momentum. Consider the feeling of trying to walk through thick mud where every step requires immense effort and you never quite gain solid footing. That's the emotional and energetic toll of consistent bad luck. You might find that every time you try to save money, an unexpected, crippling expense arises, draining your savings. Every time you attempt to embark on a new positive habit, an unforeseen disruption derails your efforts. It's a feeling of being perpetually thwarted, as if the universe itself has decided to conspire against your every positive endeavor. This differs from general negative patterns, sign 1, because here the focus is on the consistency and repetitive nature of specific obstacles that directly impede your actions and goals, rather than a broad sense of general misfortune. It's the same type of obstacle appearing again and again, like a broken record playing the same frustrating note. These persistent obstacles often manifest in ways that are deeply personal and strategically placed. If you're trying to expand your business, every potential client meeting might be mysteriously canceled at the last minute, or your proposals might be inexplicably overlooked. If you're trying to improve your health, every new diet or exercise regimen might be met with an unexpected injury or illness that forces you to stop. The timing is always just a little too perfect, the reasons a little too flimsy to be dismissed as mere coincidence. It's a subtle yet relentless form of energetic resistance, designed not to destroy you outright, but to exhaust you, to make you give up, to convince you that your efforts are futile. The Stoics teach us the power of perseverance, of continuing despite external obstacles. But when the obstacles are not merely challenging, but seemingly orchestrated and unending, it calls for a deeper form of discernment. What can you do when faced with such consistent resistance? First, document these instances with meticulous detail. Note the exact nature of the obstacle, when and where it occurred, and what you were trying to achieve. Look for the common threads, the recurring themes. Is it always technology failing? Always travel plans disrupted? Always financial setbacks? This objective observation helps you move beyond the feeling of being a victim of bad luck to recognizing a potential pattern of interference. Second, practice radical acceptance of the present moment of the obstacle while maintaining your long-term vision. Don't let the frustration of the immediate setback derail your ultimate goal. Acknowledge the barrier, but then pivot, adapt, and find an alternative route. This is the essence of Stoic resilience. Finally, consider energetic cleansing for your tools, your workspace, and your personal items that seem to be consistently affected. Sometimes the objects themselves can become conduits for this persistent resistance. This fifth sign, consistent bad luck or repeated obstacles, is a powerful indicator that an unseen force is actively working to impede your progress. When combined with the previous signs, it paints a compelling picture of intentional interference, urging you to take proactive steps to reclaim your flow and your destiny. Sign 6. Persistent negative thoughts or voices, not clinical. Our minds, as the Stoics profoundly understood, are our most sacred territory, our inner citadel. It is here that we cultivate reason, virtue, and tranquility. But what if this inner sanctuary, this private space of thought and reflection, suddenly becomes a battleground? This sixth sign speaks to an insidious form of interference that targets your very consciousness. The sudden onset and persistent presence of negative thoughts or voices that feel alien, intrusive, and profoundly unlike your own authentic inner dialogue. This is not to be confused with clinical depression, anxiety, or other mental health conditions which require professional medical attention. What we are discussing here is a distinct phenomenon, a stream of thoughts that feel foreign, almost as if they are being implanted into your mind. They might whisper doubts about your abilities, criticize your every move, or relentlessly highlight your perceived flaws, even when logic and external evidence suggest otherwise. These aren't the usual self-critiques that arise from introspection. They are persistent, often malicious, and seem to come from an external source, urging you towards despair, inaction, or even self-sabotage. Imagine trying to concentrate, but an incessant nagging voice in your head keeps telling you you're not good enough. This will fail. Everyone secretly despises you. It's a relentless psychological assault that can erode your confidence, your motivation, and your sense of self-worth. These intrusive thoughts often manifest in specific debilitating ways. They might foster paranoia, making you suddenly distrustful of friends and family without cause, seeing malice where there is none. They might amplify your fears, turning minor worries into overwhelming anxieties, paralyzing you with indecision. They might even subtly encourage destructive behaviors, urging you to isolate yourself, to neglect your responsibilities, or to lash out at loved ones. The key characteristic is their persistent, unbidden nature and the feeling that they are not originating from your own core being. Your true inner voice, your demon, as the Stoics called it, speaks of reason, integrity, and virtue. Any voice urging you towards self-destruction, fear, or irrationality is not your own and should be recognized as a potential intrusion. Many who experience this describe it as a constant low-level hum of negativity, a mental static that prevents clear thought and peaceful contemplation. It can make meditation or prayer feel impossible, as your mind is constantly bombarded by these alien intrusions, making it difficult to connect with your higher self or find inner stillness. It's a profound spiritual disturbance, a direct assault on your inner peace and mental clarity. The Stoics emphasized the importance of guarding the mind, of carefully examining every impression and assenting only to what is true and rational. When your mind is under this kind of subtle siege, this discernment becomes incredibly challenging, yet all the more vital. What can you do to protect your inner sanctuary? First, cultivate a heightened sense of self-awareness regarding your thoughts. When a negative thought arises, pause and ask yourself, is this thought truly mine? Does it align with my values and my highest self? Or does it feel alien, intrusive, and destructive? By questioning its origin, you begin to create a mental boundary. Second, practice mental disidentification. Recognize that these thoughts are not you. They are simply phenomena passing through your mind, like clouds drifting across the sky. You are the observer, not the thought itself. Third, engage in practices that strengthen your mental and spiritual boundaries. Daily meditation, even for a few minutes, focused on clearing your mind and visualizing a protective shield around your consciousness, can be profoundly effective. Affirmations of your self-worth, your strength, and your inner peace, spoken aloud, can help reprogram your subconscious against these negative influences. Finally, limit your exposure to sources of negativity in your environment, whether it be certain media, toxic relationships, or places that drain your energy. This sixth sign, persistent negative thoughts or voices that are not clinical, is a direct assault on your inner citadel. Recognizing it is the first step towards reclaiming your mental sovereignty and ensuring that your mind remains a sanctuary of peace and clarity. Sign 7. Unexplained financial setbacks or losses. In the tapestry of a well-ordered life, financial stability often serves as a foundational thread, providing a sense of security and freedom to pursue our higher aims. We understand that economic fluctuations, market downturns, or unforeseen expenses are part of the landscape. But what if your financial well-being, despite your diligent efforts and prudent management, begins to inexplicably spiral downward as if a hidden leak has appeared in your vessel of abundance? This is the seventh profound sign, suggesting a targeted interference aimed at undermining your material security and, by extension, your peace of mind. This isn't about poor financial decisions, irresponsible spending, or a general economic recession. This is about a series of unusual, sudden, and often bizarre losses that defy logical explanation. Imagine working tirelessly, building a thriving business or a stable career, only to find that your income mysteriously dwindles. Deals you were certain would close suddenly fall through at the last moment due to inexplicable reasons. Clients who were once reliable inexplicably default on payments, or large unexpected expenses arise out of nowhere, draining your savings faster than you can replenish them. It's as if an invisible force is consistently siphoning off your resources, leaving you perpetually scrambling despite your best efforts to manage your finances responsibly. It's a feeling of being financially drained, of having your abundance blocked, even when all your actions are aligned with growth and prosperity. Consider the frustration of constantly trying to fill a bucket with water, only to realize there's a small, invisible hole at the bottom, steadily draining away your efforts. That's the persistent, demoralizing experience of unexplained financial setbacks. Perhaps you've invested wisely, but your investments inexplicably underperform or face sudden, unforeseen losses that don't affect others in the same market. Or you might find yourself consistently losing possessions of value through inexplicable means like misplacement, petty theft that seems to target only your belongings, or damage that defies logic. The timing of these losses is often uncanny, occurring precisely when you need funds most or when you're on the cusp of a significant financial breakthrough. This isn't just bad luck with money. It's a systematic, almost intelligent depletion designed to create stress, insecurity, and to limit your options, thereby hindering your ability to pursue your life's purpose with freedom. These financial attacks can manifest in deeply personal ways. For an entrepreneur, it might be a sudden, inexplicable drop in sales despite no change in marketing or product quality. For an employee, it could be a sudden, unexpected job loss without cause, or a series of missed promotions and raises that seem to bypass them unfairly. The key is the unexplained nature of these setbacks, their persistence, and their tendency to recur in patterns that defy rational, economic, or personal circumstances. It's a subtle form of energetic sabotage, aiming to create a constant state of financial anxiety, keeping you preoccupied with survival rather than thriving. What can a wise individual do when faced with such an insidious drain? First, meticulously document every financial setback, no matter how small. Note the date, the amount, the circumstances, and any unusual details. Look for patterns. Do these losses occur after interacting with specific individuals? Do they happen when you're about to make a significant investment or purchase? This objective tracking can reveal connections that your emotional frustration might otherwise obscure. Second, practice energetic cleansing of your financial tools and spaces. Your wallet, your bank statements, your workspace, these can all hold energetic imprints. Simple practices like visualizing a golden light surrounding your money or placing protective symbols in your wallet can help. Third, cultivate a mindset of abundance, even in the face of scarcity. The Stoics taught us to focus on what we can control, our efforts, our integrity, our resilience, rather than dwelling on external outcomes. Continue to work diligently, to manage wisely, and to maintain an unwavering belief in your capacity for prosperity, even when the external circumstances seem challenging. This seventh sign, unexplained financial setbacks or losses, is a powerful indicator that an unseen force is actively working to impede your material well-being. Recognizing it is crucial for reclaiming your financial sovereignty and ensuring that your path to abundance remains clear. Sign 8, intuitive warnings and spiritual disturbances. This final sign, my friends, is perhaps the most subtle, yet potentially the most powerful, for it taps into your own innate protective systems that often recognize threats long before your conscious mind can fully process them. It is the language of your soul, the whisper of your inner wisdom, guiding you through the unseen currents of existence. Take a moment right now to reflect on a time when you had a profound gut feeling about something or someone. Perhaps you decided not to take a certain route home one night for no logical reason, only to learn later there had been an incident there. Or perhaps you felt an inexplicable unease about a charming new person everyone else seemed to adore. Our intuition often speaks to us in these quiet yet insistent ways. And when it comes to energetic or spiritual attacks, these whispers become especially vital. morphing into clear, unmistakable warnings. What intuitive warnings might you be experiencing right now? Do you feel a persistent sense of being watched, even when you are utterly alone? Do you suddenly feel profoundly uncomfortable, anxious, or even nauseous in spaces that used to feel safe and comforting, like your own home? Are there specific people who, upon entering a room, cause your energy to immediately drain, leaving you feeling profoundly weary, even though they haven't done anything objectively threatening or overtly negative? These intuitive warnings often manifest physically, as your body acts as a sensitive barometer for energetic shifts. Your stomach might tighten around certain individuals. You might get unexplained goosebumps in specific locations of your home, or your breath might become shallow. Your chest feel heavy in particular situations. These physical responses are your body's ancient alarm system, alerting you to dangers your conscious mind hasn't yet processed. Consider your dreams lately. Have they changed dramatically in nature? Recurring nightmares, dreams of being chased or attacked by unseen forces, or dreams where familiar people appear distorted, menacing, or threatening, can all be your subconscious mind desperately trying to communicate that something is profoundly wrong. Your dream state, being less filtered by the rational mind, can often detect energy disturbances and intrusions that your waking mind filters out or dismisses. Many people who later confirm they were targets of negative influence report having initially dismissed these intuitive warnings. "I thought I was just being paranoid," they often say, echoing a common misconception. But true paranoia is a generalized fear without specific triggers, while intuitive warnings are specific, consistent, and often accompanied by tangible physical sensations. Learning this profound difference can be life-changing, transforming fear into informed awareness. Changes in your spiritual practices or connection might also occur, serving as a powerful intuitive warning. If you previously found deep peace and solace in meditation, prayer, or other spiritual disciplines, you might suddenly encounter inexplicable blocks or disturbances. Your once clear, vibrant connection to the divine or to your inner self feels static-filled, distant, or even hostile. Your prayers feel like they're hitting an impenetrable ceiling, and your meditation is constantly interrupted by intrusive thoughts, profound uneasiness, or a sense of being energetically pushed away. These subtle spiritual disturbances are often overlooked because we tend to attribute them to stress, a lack of focus, or simply having an off day. But when they persist, when they combine with other signs we've discussed, they become crucial pieces of the puzzle, serving as your first line of defense. Early warning systems designed to alert you before serious damage occurs to your spirit. How can you strengthen these innate intuitive abilities and fortify your spiritual boundaries? Start by simply acknowledging and honoring your intuitive impressions. Don't immediately dismiss uncomfortable feelings as irrational or baseless. Instead, pause, breathe, and ask yourself what they might be trying to tell you. Write them down, track patterns, and pay attention to recurring sensations or dream themes. As you reflect on what we've discussed, unexplainable negative patterns, unusual physical and emotional symptoms, strange objects or arrangements, dramatic changes in your social circle, consistent bad luck, persistent negative thoughts, unexplained financial setbacks, and now these profound intuitive warnings. Consider how many of these signs might be present in your life right now. One sign alone might not definitively indicate negative influence, but when multiple signs converge, the picture becomes clearer, more compelling, and undeniably urgent. Your intuition is a sacred gift, a personal guidance system that helps you navigate both physical and spiritual realms. Rather than fearing these intuitive warnings, welcome them as valuable information, as messages from your deepest self. They don't make you weak or paranoid. They make you aware, discerning, and profoundly empowered. And awareness, my friend, is not just the first step. It is the most powerful protection of all. The awakening, reclaiming your inner fortress. You've now journeyed through the 8 profound signs, each a distinct whisper from the unseen world, a subtle tremor in the fabric of your reality. You've heard the echoes of unexplainable negative patterns, felt the weight of unusual physical and emotional symptoms, glimpsed the chilling reality of strange objects, witnessed the painful fracturing of relationships, endured the relentless grind of consistent bad luck, battled the insidious whispers of negative thoughts, grappled with the perplexing drain of financial setbacks, and recognized the sacred call of your own intuitive warnings. Take a moment, breathe deeply. Let these insights settle within you, not as seeds of fear, but as sparks of profound understanding. Reflect on your own life's unfolding. Are these unsettling patterns, these inexplicable symptoms, these strange intrusions resonating with your own experience? Perhaps 1 or 2 signs have always lingered at the periphery of your awareness, dismissed as mere coincidence. But now, as you see them laid out, distinct yet interconnected, a clearer picture begins to emerge. The scattered pieces of a perplexing puzzle are now falling into place, revealing an image that, while initially unsettling, is ultimately liberating. This moment, this very instant of recognition, is profoundly transformative. It is the climax, the key moment of your awakening. For in recognizing these signs, you are not merely gaining knowledge, you are actively reclaiming your power. You are no longer a passive recipient of unseen forces, buffeted by currents you cannot comprehend. Instead, you stand as an aware, discerning individual, armed with insight, ready to stand guard over your own peace, your well-being, and the sacred trajectory of your life's purpose. This is not about succumbing to fear or embracing superstition. It is about embracing active wisdom, a stoic vigilance that acknowledges all aspects of reality, seen and unseen. The Stoics taught us that true freedom lies in understanding what is within our control and acting upon it with virtue and reason. While the origin of these negative influences might be outside your direct control, your response to them is entirely within your power. This realization shifts you from a position of vulnerability to one of empowered agency. You are not a victim of fate, but a conscious participant in your own destiny. The veil of ignorance, which often serves as the greatest enabler for subtle attacks, has now been lifted. What was once hidden in plain sight is now illuminated by the light of your awareness. This awakening is a call to action for your inner self. It's a moment to solidify your resolve, to fortify your spirit, and to consciously choose a path of protection and empowerment. Imagine yourself as a fortress, strong and unyielding. Previously, perhaps, there were unnoticed cracks in the walls, open gates, or unguarded watchtowers. But now, having identified the points of vulnerability, you can begin the vital work of reinforcing your defenses. This isn't a battle fought with physical weapons, but with the unwavering strength of your mind, the clarity of your intention, and the purity of your spirit. The journey of self-mastery, as taught by the Stoics, is a continuous process of self-improvement and vigilance. This newfound awareness is a powerful catalyst in that journey. It compels you to move beyond passive observation and into active, intentional self-care, both physically and energetically. Embrace this moment of clarity. Feel the surge of empowerment that comes from understanding what was once mysterious. This is your turning point, the moment you decide to cease being a mere recipient of life's currents and instead become the conscious navigator of your own ship, steering it with purpose and unwavering resolve through all waters, seen and unseen. Conclusion. As we draw this profound discussion to a close, let us consolidate the wisdom we have uncovered. The Stoic masters taught us to distinguish between what is truly within our control and what lies beyond it. Before we can accept, however, we must first discern. We have meticulously unveiled 8 crucial indicators that might suggest a directed negative intention is influencing your life. The perplexing patterns of unexplainable negative events, the baffling presence of unusual physical and emotional symptoms without medical cause, the unsettling discovery of strange objects or unusual arrangements in your personal spaces, the painful and dramatic shifts in your social circle and dearest relationships, the relentless grind of consistent bad luck and repeated obstacles, the insidious whispers of persistent negative thoughts or voices that are not your own, the perplexing drain of unexplained financial setbacks or losses, and finally, the sacred call of your own intuitive warnings and spiritual disturbances. Your awareness of these signs is not merely knowledge, it is your first and most potent shield. Simply recognizing these subtle yet powerful indicators disrupts the very power of hidden attacks. When you know what is happening, when you can name the unseen currents, you are no longer a bewildered bystander but an empowered participant in your own spiritual well-being. This understanding transforms confusion into clarity and vulnerability into strength. It allows you to move from a state of passive endurance to one of active, intentional self-protection. Remember, a single sign might be a coincidence, but when multiple signs converge, painting a consistent picture of disruption and inexplicable misfortune, the message becomes clearer, more compelling, and undeniably urgent. This is not about succumbing to fear or paranoia, but about cultivating a heightened sense of discernment, a stoic vigilance that acknowledges all aspects of reality, seen and unseen. By understanding these subtle influences, you reclaim your inner peace, fortify your spirit, and ensure that your journey through life is guided by your own conscious will rather than by unseen forces. Now that you possess this vital awareness, this profound understanding of the unseen currents that can influence your life, what will you choose? To passively endure, allowing these subtle forces to continue their work, pretending everything is normal even as your life spirals downward? Or will you choose to take control of your spiritual well-being, to reclaim your power, and to actively defend your inner fortress? The Stoic path is one of action, of resilience, and of unwavering commitment to self-mastery. I urge you, therefore, to take the crucial next step. Beyond mere recognition, there are powerful, time-tested practices that can help you cleanse your space and strengthen your energetic boundaries. Consider simple yet effective practices like creating salt barriers at entryways, burning sacred herbs like sage or Palo Santo, or using sound cleansing with bells to help clear negative energies from your home and workplace. Protection practices are equally important. Carry protective stones like black tourmaline or obsidian, known for their grounding and shielding properties. Strengthen your personal energy through regular grounding exercises, connecting deeply with the earth. Visualize a shield of light surrounding you before entering challenging situations or interacting with draining individuals. These are not just superstitions. They are ancient, profound practices that have helped countless individuals protect themselves for centuries, fostering a sense of security and energetic integrity. The difference between these choices is literally the difference between being a victim of circumstance and being a victor over unseen challenges. Your journey towards a stronger mind, a peaceful heart, and a truly happy life doesn't end here. The YouTube algorithm, in its infinite wisdom, has already selected the perfect next video for you, a deeper dive into specific protection techniques and Stoic practices to fortify your spirit. You'll see it appearing on your screen now. Click on it immediately to continue your protection journey, to further empower yourself with practical wisdom. And if you found value in this discussion, if it resonated with your soul, please consider subscribing to the Stoic Philosophy channel. By doing so, you ensure you won't miss any future videos designed to help you cultivate resilience, find inner peace, and live a life of profound purpose. Thank you for dedicating your precious time to this vital conversation. Your commitment to self-awareness and spiritual well-being is truly commendable. May your path be clear, your spirit be strong, and your days be filled with profound peace and unwavering joy.
Thank you for watching this video here on the Stoic Philosophy. If you found value in this, I invite you to explore more videos on the channel. There's so much more wisdom to uncover. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next one. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.